Most people think predators go after the weak, the shy, the fragile, the ones easy to break. But that's not always true. Sometimes they're drawn to the strongest person in the room, the one who shines, who laughs the loudest, who has a future so bright it blinds. This is the story of Angel Lynn. She was young, ambitious, full of life, the kind of girl who had everything going for her. Until one encounter changed everything. It started with a charming smile, a bit of attention, someone who listened when she felt most alone. But what looked like love was something far more dangerous, and by the time Angel realized, she was already caught in a web she couldn't escape. What happened next would shock the country and leave a family fighting for a miracle no one believed was possible. Stay with us. This is a story you need to hear. Welcome to Unveiled Crime Mysteries channel, where I unveil mysterious true crimes, some lost to time, others fresh in memory. Justice might not be served, but the shadow is unveiled. Angel, a young British woman, was trapped in a toxic relationship with a man neck-deep in crime. Every time she tried to break free, the situation spiraled darker. In her last attempt to escape, it turned violent. A fight, a kidnapping, an attempt on her life. Against all odds, Angel survived, but what she's left with now, it's a life few of us would recognize as living. Angel Lynn was born on 18 April 2001 in a Birmingham suburb, right in the heart of the Midlands. She was the fourth of 6 kids, the youngest girl in the family. Her dad, Patrick, or Patty to his mates, ran a small retail shop. Her mum, Nicolette or Nikki, was all heart, dedicating herself to raising the kids and keeping the home together. They weren't rich, but they managed, working hard to give their children a good start. The Lynn household was warm, noisy, full of life. Angel was especially close to her mum. She told Nikki everything, her dreams, her fears, her future plans. From the start, Angel was a live wire, always moving, always doing. She was sharp at school, sporty, surrounded by mates. People called her determined, principled, someone who'd stand up for what was right. She wanted to study law, dreamed of making a difference in the justice system, and she turned heads wherever she went. Slender, striking, blonde hair, piercing blue eyes. Angel lit up a room. She had plenty of admirers, but dating wasn't her priority. She wanted her own life, her own path. Even in school, Angel worked part-time as a waitress, saving every penny for college, for clothes, for her own independence. When she finished school, she got into her dream university, enrolling in a course to become a crime scene investigator. She juggled it all, studies, work, sport, with energy that seemed endless. Life was good, until she met Chay Bowskill. Chay was born 20 October 2000. He was the younger of 2 boys, raised by their mum, Charlotte Bowskill. Neither of the fathers stuck around. Charlotte worked all hours, but money was always short, and she was barely home. The boys grew up fending for themselves. Chay showed his dark side early, quick to anger, always in fights, always in trouble. As a teen, he racked up police run-ins. His mum defended him every time, blind to the danger. His brother Reese wasn't innocent either, but Chay outpaced him, diving headfirst into crime before he'd even left school. Charlotte didn't see it. She thought her boy was golden. By 15, Chay was stealing cars, stripping them for parts. He fell in with local gangs, made a name for himself. Reese had a temper but could hold it back. Chay didn't even try. He loved speed, cars, bikes, anything that roared down streets. He got his license, but by 18, he was driving his own car, paid for with dirty money. He drank, he used drugs, and he got behind the wheel. One crash slammed him into a pole and cost him his license. Not that it stopped him. He kept driving, kept stealing, live-streamed his wild rides for all to see. As the crimes escalated from theft to armed robbery to drug dealing, Chay played up his bad guy image. He boasted about it, arrest after arrest, but somehow he always slipped away with a slap on the wrist. Chay was dangerous, reckless, but charismatic. Girls fell for him easily. He flaunted his cash, his charm, his dark edge, but he couldn't hold on to them. His temper always got in the way. Most women walked before things got too bad, but not everyone got the chance to walk. In early 2019, Angel met Stephen through mutual friends. They were the same age, same uni, clicked instantly. Within weeks they were inseparable, meeting each other's families, dreaming of the future. But just 6 months in, Stephen ended it. Suddenly, painfully, Angel was crushed, and soon after, when she was at her lowest, when she was isolated, that's when she crossed paths with Chay Bowskill. The spark between Angel and Stephen was immediate. They laughed, they clicked, they became a couple almost overnight. Within weeks they were meeting each other's families, showing everyone this was the real deal. Patty and Nikki were thrilled. Stephen was kind, grounded, from a good home. His parents welcomed Angel in with warmth, like she was already part of the family. They were inseparable, always at each other's houses, always together. Friends and family teased them, joking about wedding bells. But then 6 months in, it all fell apart. No warning. Stephen ended it, and no one really knew why. For Angel, it was crushing. She watched him move on to someone else fast. Angel pulled away. She stopped seeing mutual friends, cut herself off to avoid the pain. Her world shrank. Even with her family nearby, she felt completely alone. She buried herself in work, in school, but it didn't lift her out. And in that hollow, raw moment, fate sent Chay Bowskill into her life. They met by chance. She caught his eye straight away. Chay was the one who walked up, asked why she looked so sad, suggested they take a walk, grab a coffee. Angel needed someone to listen, and Chay knew just how to play the part. They swapped numbers. Soon they were meeting up all the time. Chay put in the effort. He was charming, attentive, sweet. Before Angel even realized it, she was falling for him. She believed she'd met someone worth her time, someone worth her heart. Chay spoiled her. Fancy gifts, trendy nights out, clubs, restaurants, gigs. She asked what he did for work, but Chay dodged the questions with ease. One night, Angel brought him home for dinner. What should have been a quiet family evening turned into tension. Chay's cocky, arrogant attitude grated on Angel's parents. Later, Nikki pulled Angel aside. She was worried. She urged her daughter to end it. Angel, not wanting a fight, brushed it off. "We're just friends," she told them. "I'll see him less." But the truth? Angel and Chay kept seeing each other in secret. They met in hotel rooms, spent long nights together. Angel was convinced she'd fallen for the right guy. They were glued to each other. Calls, texts, dozens, every day. Chay wanted to know where she was, who she was with, what she was doing. Angel thought it was just love, just care. She told him everything, without seeing the trap closing in. In no time, Chay knew it all. Her schedule, her friends, her routine. He tightened his hold. He cut her off from anyone he didn't like. He told her to lie to her parents. Bit by bit, he built a wall between Angel and the people who loved her. By August 2019, Chay was calling all the shots. He told Angel what to wear, who to talk to, banned her from makeup. He grabbed her phone, blocked people himself. He showed up if she was late, even by half an hour. Angel couldn't even greet a male friend on the street without it turning into a shouting match. Her parents saw the change. The bright, glowing girl they knew faded. Angel wore baggy clothes. She stopped using makeup. She was nervous, jumpy, clutching her phone, slipping away to answer calls in private. She stopped confiding in her mum, her sisters. When they asked if she was okay, she'd smile, say everything was fine, but her voice told another story. Chay wanted her to himself. He turned Angel into a shadow, someone who felt she only mattered to him. He wanted every inch of her life. He even pushed her to quit school, to leave her job, promising, "I'll take care of everything." Angel couldn't bring herself to let go of her dreams. That only made Chay push harder. He hacked her social media, installed trackers on her phone, knew where she was at every second. He could appear anywhere, anytime. Angel was on edge, always glancing over her shoulder, Under his pressure, she got a tattoo of his name, his mark on her skin, and that's how he saw her, his property. Chay called at all hours, even in the middle of the night. "Turn on your camera," he'd demand. "Show me where you are." Angel was crumbling. She tried to leave him, more than once, but Chay wouldn't let go. What had started as romance had twisted into full control. Chay stalked her, suffocated her, isolated her, all while whispering it was love. In January 2020, Chay and a few of his mates were caught trying to steal a car. He got 4 months inside. For Angel, it felt like fresh air. She thought this was her chance to break free, to finally leave the nightmare behind. But she was wrong. Every day, Chay used his one prison call to ring the Lynn family house, checking where Angel was. On the outside, his friends kept tabs on her, reporting back. Angel felt the walls closing in, but there was nowhere to turn. She lived in fear, waiting. By late May, Chay was out, and the first place he went, straight to Angel's house, kicking off a scene the neighbors wouldn't forget. Angel tried to break it off, but Chay demanded she pay him back. Hundreds of pounds he claimed he'd spent on her. She handed over her savings, hoping it would end. It didn't. Within a week, Chay hit her for the first time. A week later, it happened again. This time, a bystander called the police, worried Angel wouldn't make it out alive. But Angel refused to press charges. Chay walked free. On 9 July 2020, a neighbor heard a woman screaming. Chay had slammed Angel's head against the floor. She needed hospital care, but told no one. She stayed silent, terrified he'd turn on her or her family. She endured it, knowing deep down it couldn't last forever. By September, Angel had made up her mind. She was leaving for good. When she told Chay, he lashed out so hard she was left bruised, her face battered. Then came the apology, the promises, the lies. Angel knew better now. She was done. Chay wasn't. He begged to stay friends. Angel, desperate for peace, agreed, hoping he'd back off. On 17 September, Angel worked her shift, then promised to pick up Chay and his friend Rocco Sansom in their van. They often used her as their driver when they were too drunk or high to handle it themselves. That night was no different. Angel pulled into the car park where they waited. They got in. As they drove, Angel and Chay started arguing. She'd had enough. She pulled over, jumped out and ran. CCTV captured everything. Chay storming after her, grabbing her, dragging her back into the van. He jumped behind the wheel and sped off, ignoring every rule of the road. Inside that van, Angel was trapped, between two men, terrified. No one knows what was said, what was done in those minutes. But drivers on the road noticed. Calls flooded into police about a van tearing down the highway, weaving, swerving. But help didn't come in time. Suddenly, the passenger door flung open. Angel tumbled out at full speed, nearly crushed by cars behind. Quick-thinking drivers slammed their brakes and ran to help. The van drove on, slowed, turned back. It rolled up to the scene like someone had dropped a wallet, like Chay was coming to collect something small. Chay got out, calm, smooth. To the people gathered there, he said, "She's my girlfriend. We just had a fight. I told her I wanted to break up, and she lost it, tried to end her life. It didn't sound right." But Chay stuck to the story, word for word. Rocco backed him up. Chay stood there, waiting, sure Angel wouldn't survive, sure he'd get away with it. But Angel was still breathing, barely. Paramedics rushed her to hospital. Broken ribs, broken limbs, a fractured spine. But worst of all, a traumatic brain injury, massive bleeding. Doctors worked through the night, through the next days. They cut away part of her skull to ease the pressure. Her heart stopped, more than once. They brought her back, more than once. She was in a coma, hooked to life support. No one thought she'd wake. The doctors told her parents the truth. Even if she survived, she'd be in a vegetative state, forever. They suggested turning off the machines. Her parents said no. Chay and Rocco were arrested at the scene. They denied everything, said Angel had been out of control, but CCTV told a different story.
Chay was charged with kidnapping, false imprisonment, causing serious harm. Rocco, his accomplice, was charged too. They waited in jail for trial. In January 2022, the trial began. New charges: assault, harassment. Neither man confessed, and without proof, Angel was pushed. The jury couldn't agree on intent. The result: light sentences. Rocco got 2 years, Chay got 7. In March, Chay's lawyers appealed, calling the sentence too harsh. They lost. In fact, prosecutors won a harsher punishment, 12 years. Still, Chay can apply for parole after 6. As for Angel, she kept fighting. Months passed. She started breathing on her own. Doctors eased her out of the coma. At first, she didn't know anyone. Couldn't move, couldn't eat. Her parents took her home, cared for her round the clock. Then, in May 2023, something changed. Angel began responding. A month later, she looked at her mum and said, "Mum." Now, Angel is in slow, painful rehab. She's even taken her first steps. Doctors say she'll never return to the life she had. But her parents refuse to believe that, because Angel has already shown the world she's a fighter. Thank you for watching. If you felt touched by this case, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think drove this tragedy? Until next time, there's always another case to be unveiled. Remember,